for Lochy said how nervous he was. No wonder. For you to do so well in Poland, throw it away in the final. But I commend him. He was pushy. He wasn't riding tight. He just came in too fast, missed the line. We've unpacked that with Alan. Now he comes over to Leogang. He's got the confidence of riding well. Now he qualifies well again. I know very well myself how stressful that is. I have myself been up at Leogang after qualifying fourth, and I managed to have about 3 crashes by the first split.
Oh, man.
So for him to realize how nervous he was and deal with that and put down a run and push, and I learned that. It took me longer than him to be like, I'd rather go down swinging than ride this tight, weird, protective, get down and get a 7th. Like, no. So it's cool to see the youngsters able to do that. And that's really, I'm so stoked for that he was able to get over the line the very next race. Because if it doesn't happen and then it drags, then it becomes like a storyline for you to ask him about. So I love it. He's awesome. He says he's got barely anything to say. He just lets his riding do the speaking. And he rode like a bat out of hell down that hill. Like he was, I think he washed the back off the root gap after the wall ride. I think there was lots of exciting stuff. So
and he's doing
cool.
like his own. He's doing his own lines as well. He's finding his own lines, riding his own lines. And I did forget his pedigree. I would say he's had a lifetime of BMX racing at the highest level, because I asked him about his mental game and he's like, bro, I've raced fucking BMX all my life, and you know how those kids are drilled, and it's racing. So actually, as a racer, he has that back end mental game sitting right there, which is probably why it only took him one race to fix his mistake from Poland. And now you said if you rode tight and you qualified fourth and made mistakes and then you end up in 7th, it's like these days you ride tight and you lose a second or two, you're not ending up in 7th, you're ending up in 27th. It's nuts.
Exactly. And that burns, even though the time gaps, you're totally right. So that's exactly what could happen. But that makes sense. It's like Gwyn coming into the scene, like, where did this guy come from? Like, I don't know, he rode motocross since he was in diapers. Like, you subconsciously learn to deal with the pressure and what you need and all those things. And maybe it was more pressure than he's felt, but maybe not. Maybe he's forgetting what he felt in a BMX race back in the day when it meant something to him. So that's awesome. I hope he can build from that. And what a story from Bowman to have that guy on the podium for all that hard work. To be on a shoestring budget is stressful. It's hard, and between him and Anna Newkirk's team. Yeah,
you know where Lucky is today in the rain? He's out testing. Him and his mechanic are up on the hill. And they obviously figured or found something that they wanted to try or test based off this race, even though he had his good result. Like, even they don't rest on their laurels. And like, after a massive weekend like you've had, and you finish on the podium, like not even just podium, top 3, you think you take the day off. You think you might have had 1 or 2 beers too many last night, but no, they're out testing this morning in the rain. So they've obviously found something that they want to have ready for Val d'Isole. So that's
impressive,
commendable, Yep.
And listening to him, he said he wouldn't be probably having beers. He's going to do that in Val d'Isole because it's such a tight turnaround. So there's maturity there, even though he's a young New Zealander, obviously he likes. And then what struck me is he said he actually dreamt this, right? And that's one thing. Another thing is he did believe he could do it. He had the confidence. Like, that's interesting. Often you need to see it before you go, I believed I could be up there with the top guys. He's like, no, I kind of knew inside I could do it. So I see a lot of maturity there. And he also spoke about his off-season. He had the best off-season preparation. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy barely is. Is he doing training?
No, he was
young?
Always sidelined.
No, he's professional.
He was sidelined with injuries before. He was sidelined with injuries before. And that's why he never got noticed earlier by the big teams. So we're going to put a crowdfunding. He smoked
everyone of the New Zealand nationals coming in the whole off season, just first. Like, he's shit hot.